Hello, this is Zachary James, and I am so very proud to be a part of Opera America's Meet Opera movement as an official Opera America ambassador. My first exposure to opera came from listening to the Saturday radio broadcasts from the Met. We were a really big NPR family, and the radio was always on in the house, in the car. And I actually remember as a kid screaming, "Please turn this off, it's horrible," when I heard opera for the first time in the car. And my mom just left it on and laughed. But I think it speaks to the fact that it can be an alienating art form, and that it is something that needs to be experienced, not just listened to, especially for someone who has yet to be exposed to opera. It can sound like this strange alien thing, and we have to welcome people in the doors of the opera house and expose them to this art form in every sense. They have to see it and feel it and be in the same space as the artists who are translating this material for them. The first opera I saw live was Stravinsky's The Rake's Progress. Oh, it was so good. And I remember I was so excited. I was in college, and it was at Florida State University. I was a freshman, and we had to go see things and write about them for a class I was taking. And I walked through the doors of the opera house, and I said to the usher, "This is my first opera ever." And he said to me, "Oh no, this is not an opera that a first-time opera goer should see." And I just thought, well, that's funny. Okay, let's see what we think of this. And I actually loved it so much. I mean, there was a bearded lady breaking things on stage, and, you know, this madhouse scene. And more than that, though, the music was so epically beautiful and grand and cinematic. And then you had these people in these extraordinary costumes and sets and this lighting, and it was so artistic and kind of overblown in the best way. And people were just pouring their hearts out on stage to this extraordinary music, and I loved it. It's kind of funny now because the majority of what I do is contemporary opera as an opera singer. Of course, I do Wagner and Verdi and Mozart and everything else that we do to be well-rounded artists. But I do a lot of contemporary opera, and I've had the great pleasure to do world premieres with Philip Glass and Missy Mazzoli, Kristen Hefner. I'm working on a piece with Paola Prestini now. So really my joy and my passion is contemporary opera, and especially new works, having the chance to be in a room with a composer and a librettist, and having a chance to have a voice in the process of creating a new work is something that's unlike anything else. And I laugh thinking that my first opera was The Rake's Progress, such a beautiful contemporary work that really influenced my path, I think. The stereotypes that bother me the most about opera are that it's expensive, and that you have to study before you go, and you have to know the language, and none of these things are true. The Met, you can still get tickets for $20 to go to the Met, this extraordinary experience in New York, and sharing a space with 4,000 other people and seeing one of the best orchestras in the world play this extraordinary music. And even if you don't like the show, just being in that building and being a part of that experience and sharing that live experience with 4,000 other people is so indelible. And I'm constantly trying to get the word out that opera is actually affordable. It's like the cheapest ticket in New York to see a live performance if you get one of those cheap seats. That's how I always went to the opera. I would go, a couple times a week when I lived in New York. And the other thing is, you don't have to study the show before you go, and you don't have to know anything about the language. They really help you once you're in the opera house. They help you by giving you the information you need to enjoy the show. You can also wear whatever you want. You don't have to dress up. It's fun if you want to dress up, but you don't have to. People are showing up in jeans and t-shirts, and that's okay. We welcome you no matter what. Just come as you are, and come experience opera, and let us share this beautiful art form with you. Again, this is Zachary James for Opera America's Meet Opera initiative, and I am so proud to be an Opera America ambassador. You can reach out to me anytime on any social media platform. I will be happy to answer your questions about opera, and I hope to share an operatic experience with you soon. Join us.